Hi, and welcome. We're the Weasley sisters. I'm Jessica, also known as Naturally Nitty, and this is episode 261.
And I'm Alina, also known as Garnet. Today is August 28th. This is our monthly podcast. If you're a first time watcher, welcome. If you're a returning watcher, thanks for coming back.
Yeah, so grab your knitting, pull up a chair, and craft along with us.
Yeah. So I do not have any mojo. I've been battling it for months. So do you have any mojo?
I do, but I can only show pictures because I gifted them away already. So I finished um, a baby blanket, I called it a lovey because it's just a small little thing. It was out of oh shoot, I don't even know what it's called. Bernat blanket, which is like huge, big, bulky yarn, and it's fuzzy. And I made it for Vire, which is she's pictured right here. I used the 10 stitch blanket. Oh crap, I forget what the pattern was called. I
I
wrote
think
it
that's
down.
what it's called.
I think it's just 10 stitch. Usually use like scrap yarn or sock yarn
Yeah.
or something like that, and it's really small. So, but like the thing started out, like that big, and I went around. I forget how many times, not so many, um, but it's a good, decent, like little, you know, blanket size. Let me see if I can find
I
it.
wish, speaking of that pattern, I wish I had did my sock yarn blanket with that. Yeah, that looks.
Uh, it's like really hard, stupid glare. Anyways, like but it was fun. Yeah, I could see using my scrap yarn and just going around and around and doing that. That's always been the plan. I just haven't done it yet. It was super simple. It's the first time I did the pattern. Just a lot of short rows on the corners as you go. Um, but I used size 15 needles, so it went super fast. Um, yeah. And then the other thing I finished was a baby surprise jacket. Um, and I finished that a while ago, back for
Well, it has
class.
been a month.
I was gonna say, I'm trying to find the picture. I finished it for classes or a
I
class
think I
last.
even saw a picture of it.
Um, I don't know if it was finished the last time we talked about it. I moved it because it was in our work in progress section. Anyways, but yeah, super fun. Love that pattern. Um, Actually, someone in my life group just had a baby yesterday, so I think I'll cast on another one soon, come the first. Um,
Well, look at you finishing everything.
well, two things.
No,
That's it.
I have finished that.
Oh, shit, just got out of the.
So I going on to whips. I have a lot of whips, and I have a lot. I listed them all, the ones that I need to finish,
Okay.
and I put hibernating, and then like the shock
I
emoji.
just looked at the notes and I'm like, wow, you do have a lot of whips.
I really need to start finishing things. But the ones that I'm currently working on um, are this baby gift. It's a baby surprise jacket with the same yarn that I used for the one that I gave to our new niece, Vire. And I actually have a picture of her wearing it because
Oh,
wish I could find it. We saw them and I gave it to her and she was so excited. So she took a picture of her wearing it.
aw,
That's Vire, our new niece.
she's so cute.
1 month old, and she has the angriest eyebrows. She's so cute.
I know.
Um, anyways, um, so that our sister-in-law quick put it on her and took a picture because I made like the 0 to 6 month size. Anyways, but I am making this one also 0 to 6 months for my boss who's having a baby girl. and I'm using the other end of that yarn, which is um, Cupcake by Lion Brand, and it does stripes. So, oh, I'm going the wrong way. It does the stripes by itself. They were on clearance at Joann, so I just bought a bunch. So I got like one and almost one because I am working towards the bind off. Like I'm doing the increasing part right now. I'm working to before I bind off for the collars. So
That's
I
pretty
have this
awesome.
much left, and I figured I'm just gonna start it from the outside, so it's kind of like a pink and gray one, instead of starting it from the inside, and then maybe make another one. So you can get like one and almost two baby surprise jackets out of these. So, and maybe that's my I'm using size 8 needles, and the yarn is a light number 3 yarn. So I think that's sport weight. Let me see if I can show you the picture. There we go.
I think so.
Um, so, but I'm using size 8 because I started out with 5 and it was just too tight, and I didn't want to knit a sweater in that tight of a gauge because I wanted the first one I wanted to go faster. So I have other yarn, and I plan on making more baby surprise jackets um, just to have because a lot of people I know are having babies right now,
Yeah.
and I want to be like Lala or Laura from the Knit Girls. She always has a like a box of baby gifts. So,
So
and
smart.
I have a bunch of I got a bunch of this cupcake yarn, and now I'm tangled around this cord. Of this cupcake yarn on clearance, and so I can make a couple of out of that. And then I found some like knit picks. Um, what's their striping yarn?
Felici.
Yeah, but it was on clearance a long time ago, and I bought them to make socks for people, and that's not happening. So baby sweaters, and it's sport weight. So yeah. Anyways, I
Felici.
in the show notes, yeah, that stuff. You will see I have a ton of things on. Oh, I have another thing that I'm also actually working on. I'm like totally like distracted. I am sorry. But I have found with these baby surprise jackets, I am actually, my mojo is kind of coming back. There's still some times when I'm just sitting there not knitting, um, but it's coming back.
Yeah.
So I also joined the knit pick, not knit picks, the Mystery Gnome Knit Along by Imagine Landscape. I'm sorry, it took me like 10 minutes to figure out what her name is. So in my zombie knit apocalypse bag for this year, um, is what it's being carried on. And I am knitting one of the gnomes. So I kind of stalled out on I was doing pretty good over the couple of days when they released the pattern. And I got the main part done. So that's my gnome. I just have to knit the arms, the nose, the beard.
All the
Uh,
little bits.
yeah. So I think I stalled out because the size I was using um, for needles, I only had um, as double point. And to make
Oh,
the nose, you're knitting like really small. And on double points, that's not so easy. Like I prefer using like a magic loop method with the fiddly things. Does that make any sense? So that's where I stalled. But I have seen the finished piece. Like it was a mystery knit along, and I'm not spoiling anything showing you this because I'm sure you've seen it. Um, but like I went and looked for um, the finished project because I don't normally do mystery knit alongs. but it was a gnome, and I figured it was a safe bet
No.
to do. No. So on to my list of things that are hibernating that shouldn't be. I have my summer tank that I was crocheting. I have my Making Connections wrap, which went into hibernation because I can't concentrate enough to follow a pattern. That one might stay in hibernation for a little bit longer. I have socks for Bella, which she's been bugging me about. And
I heard about it at our
I know,
house.
I know. I have a Slytherin Sunshine Committee blanket, which needs to not be in hibernation. I keep it by my bed to work on at night, but I've just been going to bed at night. If that makes sense. So I need to pull it out and put it upstairs. Then I have a hoodie for Bella as well, um, which I'm sure you heard about that too. And it's like a wonderful wallaby is what I'm knitting.
Getting up on us, and she was like, Leah was like, "You didn't finish my, or you didn't even start my tank top, and you're knitting something for yourself," and blah blah blah. And Bella's like, "Yeah, my mom, blah 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 blah, like doesn't knit and finish anything for me." She's like, "I even got the yarn for the socks, and she started them but didn't finish them."
Yeah,
Like,
because
eat those fingers.
yeah.
Hmm,
So
sorry.
there's those. I have socks for myself that I have not finished. I have a granny square that I started a couple of months ago, probably a year, and a vest for Andy that I started a long time ago, a brown sweater that I started years ago for myself, and my stock yarn blanket. Those are like all my works in progress that I want to actually actively work on finishing this coming term, this in the next few
That's
months. I think like this is the winter term, so there should be a detention owl coming up, right?
I don't know. I've never
Oh, this
done
is
it.
the fall. Never mind. I always try the detention owls and fail at them. So my
But at
goal
least
is,
it's some progress
yeah.
done.
Well, my thing is like I start all these things and then I don't finish them in time, and then they just sit there. So,
Because no points. I get it.
right. But I mean, you can actually get 10 points by finishing stuff. So some of the things are too big to carry around, but like the socks for Bella, I need to just start carrying around.
Yes.
But it's
I
not like I
agree.
go anywhere anymore, so I need to just carry them up to the living room and leave them there.
Good on
So
your hands.
those are my works in progress, and hopefully in the next coming months you'll see our podcast, and I'll be like making that list shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it doesn't help too that I don't really have a knitting group to go to and work on things with, because I feel like when you are knitting with people, you see what they're making, and then it encourages you, like gets you excited about making what you're making. I don't know. At least for me, it does.
yeah.
It also gets you excited about starting new things, but
Yeah. Be a problem.
it also helps me to like, oh, I remember I'm knitting that and I want to finish that, or I'm crocheting that and I want to finish that. So that's my works in progress. And I will let you talk now since I talked for like 10 minutes.
That's okay. So I at the beginning of August, I was like, hey, I'm gonna do a newt
And I know you
because
did that. And I was like, okay.
why not? Like I have some works in progress that I should probably finish too, but we won't talk about that right now. Um, so I started another boneyard shawl because I wanted a purse project that I could take around with. But the problem is I've been working on it a lot, so I think I'm going to be finishing it soon.
What
So
yarn is
um, oh my gosh, this pink stuff. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I'm trying to
it? I'm
think. I
sorry.
think it was from Allena Creations, like um Shayla Miss is her Ravelry name.
Yeah.
Um, I believe it was her yarn. I think. I don't know. I didn't have the ball band on it. It was like a half a ball I had used for something else. And then this stuff, oh crap. I don't even, I think it was cupcake yarns or something. I don't even have the ball bands in here. But they go pretty well together because there's little speckles of the pink.
Yeah.
Um,
It's really cool.
so I started out and I used all the pink I had and I faded it like every other row
Mhm.
until the pink ran out. And there
It
we
looks
go.
really cool. I mean, I saw you
Uh,
working on it the other day, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty." And I don't
yeah.
remember if I said it or not, but I thought it.
No, you didn't, but thank you. Yeah, so I love the boneyard shell. Like you said, you can't follow patterns and think. And that's so me. Like, especially, I don't know, when the kids are, I don't know, at any time, my brain just doesn't have the power sometimes to think. Most times, especially with knitting. So, like, I knit and I like simple things and I like to repeat patterns. So, this is like the fourth time I'm making this shawl. Um,
Really good.
I think I might be gifting it away. It might be a teacher gift. Um, Maybe not. I don't know. I just was like, I'm gonna knit it. I put it on my Newt list, and here we are. I only have. They were both partial. I think I had like 136 grams, so more than 4 ounces. Um, I'm. This is. I mean, it's there's still a good amount left, but the longer the rows, the more you use. I'll
Yeah.
probably get a few more inches out of it. But this goes in my purse, and I do it whenever. Um, and like while I'm podcasting. One of the main parts of my newt is the capsule cardigan by So Very Shannon. Um, it's a cardigan, but
Really?
sorry, it's got pockets and it's textured, and it uses this stitch called pearl twist stitch. I don't know if you guys can see it all that well.
Yeah, there
Um,
you go.
oh, sorry, I can hold it a little bit more. Try and hold it still.
Oh, yeah, that looks really cool.
So basically, on the right side, you just knit, but on the pearl side, you purl two together, but don't slip it off the needle, and then you purl the first stitch again, then you slip the two off. So you're not decreasing, but it like creates like the textured look.
It's
Um,
almost like a reverse star stitch.
yeah, it's really pretty. And you do it kind of loose. I had to go up. I forget how many. I think two needle sizes to get gauge. Um, I did three gauge swatches. Not even.
Wow.
I think I did like five because I did it first with like a smaller needle. But you have to do this, and then there's a. I don't know if this is not mistake rib, a pearl rib. I don't know. It's like a ribbing, but like there's a pearl bump in
Yeah.
between. Um, it's not just knit pearl. It's like I don't know, whatever, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. I follow patterns. And then just stockinette stitch, which is just for the inside of the pocket, which I did first. But it's not seamed in. I'll have to like
Oh, that's cool.
stitch it. You like knit the pockets first, and then have them on holders, and then add them in. But I've gotten pretty far. I'm to the point where you first start off with like the whole back and sides, and you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then I have this is my handy dandy holder where I have like a hair tie around the needles,
Whatever
um,
works.
holding it. And then, so I'm doing the right front right now, and then this is left front. So I'm
Oh,
got
so you like work it's bottom up, so then you work and then you split.
and then you do each side separate and the back separate, and then you like seam the shoulders somehow. I don't know. I haven't read that far. And then you do the arms. So I'm trying to get this pretty far. It's taking like all of my knitting concentration. Well, I mean, it's not hard stitch, but like I actually had to get new needles um because the tips of my old needles were so blunt, which I use normally for my knitting. Adi Turbo, just their regular needles. I have a whole set of them.
Yeah, and
Um,
they are really fun. Like if you hold yours up, these ones are Audi turbos. Wait, so I'm gonna find it. And oh yeah, you can totally tell the difference. Wait, I'm going
so
the wrong.
which you're good. I can see them. I was say so for normal knitting, they're totally fine. And usually, like like super pointy needles because it'll split yarn easier if they're too pointy sometimes.
Yeah.
But with this pearl twist stitch, like going through a pearl and then going back again, like where you're purling two together, it was just like a pain and it was taking me forever. So I'm like, forget it. I'm getting new needles. So then I went to my yarn shop. Um, and instead of just buying one set of needles, I came home with this Addy Turbo lace set, click set.
Yeah.
So it
And their lace is super pointy. Their
they
lace.
were pointy and they click in, so it has like a bunch of different things. And instead of like knit picks where you screw them on, this you just like push in. Oops, I have to see. There's like a little thing here. You push in, and I'm like not doing this well. I'm
It's
not
okay.
demonstrating. Oh, there's like a little I can't do it right now. There's a little like spring mechanism. You push it in and twist and it like goes in and it's fabulous. Anyways, and they're pointy enough. Um so yeah, I got that and it was wonderful. And I've looked at it a few different times. And I think it'll be nice just to have the option when I need
So,
it.
um,
Oh shoot. That was my phone.
I the only thing I don't like about Audis is their cords. They kink big
Oh,
time. Even their new ones. Like this is the old version. Their new ones don't kink as bad as their old versions. But that's the only thing that I don't like about their new version, which is that like clear plastic,
yeah, they're blue.
isn't as bad, and they like that's the only thing I don't like about Audis. Like
Oh, mine
the
don't pink too much. These are my
it,
old ones.
but these are the old ones. Like this is like the opaque gray one, grayish brown. Um,
Yeah.
that's the only thing. I have a bunch because that's what you do when you buy from stuff. But I also have the knit picks interchangeable, but those break.
They don't
I
even like
wonder,
pull out. I've had
right?
it like numerous
Yeah,
times, like it pull out, not even unscrew, like completely and loose stitches. And I've had it. Like I love their price
and I like
and,
their point.
and their pointiness and the fact that you can get them easily and stuff. But no, another reason, like I really wanted to support my local yarn shop. I love Bridget and she's great.
My local yarn shop, which is a new one, um, which is really exciting because it's like 15 minutes away, which makes me so excited. They only carry wooden needles, the clover, and like I just don't like wooden needles.
That's
Um, but they, I I have been looking at for years now the Chiagu interchangeable ones.
okay.
I really like the cord on the Chiagu. They're like a metal. They're not metal, but they're like they don't
Hmm.
cake. They don't do any of that stuff. I just like them. But that's my personal preference, and I like their pointiness of the needles. I kind of prefer pointy needles overall,
I do sometimes. I don't know.
but I
My
get the whole like
has
splitting thing
changed.
because certain yarns just suck with pointy needles.
Um,
Anyway,
I I pulled
back
out the
to you. Go.
that's the
Oh,
capsule.
that's
I figured I'd show a picture.
I like
Uh,
that.
it's just like big and comfy and whatever. Oh, this is also my hand spun that I spun the golden fleece sweater
Yeah,
spin. Um,
I thought it was
so and then another exciting thing. So I'm using my pocket bag from you, which is getting too small for this project. So I'm having Alina make me a new one. So I'm excited about that.
ideally that is like a three skein project bag, so of course it would be too small for a sweater.
I just started out in it because that's what I had. I don't have like big sweater project bags, so I can fit it in for now. Well, actually, not the past. I just added the second ball, but um, which is like they're like 8 ounce skeins or 9 ounce skeins, so they're like not just normal size.
Yeah. I
But yeah.
have size. I have my tank that I'm making because it
Hmm.
is just like a 3 skein, and it's
Yeah.
like really small. If
So
I would,
those are my two main things that I'm working on.
that's cool.
Hmm.
Okay. Any spinning going on?
Um, no, I've kind of paused on that since Tour de Fleece, and then the second round of Tour de Fleece started up, but I don't know. I've been crazy busy, and I guess I just didn't join in on that.
Well, I mean, it's back to school time, so it's a little crazy.
I don't know
Yep.
when it actually starts.
So, I don't have any spinning, but I have spinning stash enhancement. I'm going to
Ooh.
show you because I participated in the Michigan Fiber Festival online this year. And one thing I like about the online festivals, okay, let me tell you what I don't like. I don't like that I don't get to see everyone and like be there um, and talking with people. But I appreciate that they make them online because it just keeps everyone safer for now. And one thing I really like is I get to go and watch the videos of the other vendors and see things that I don't normally get to see when I'm vending at a show.
Okay.
The thing I don't like about that is I spend money, but it's not a bad spending. So I was watching, and Turtle Maid was on there, and she has fiber yarn as well as her 3D printed things. I'm getting out the thing. So she was talking about it, and she uses Rambouillet because it's like a local farm that they get the wool from, and so then she dyes it. So I am going to hold this so you can see it. Turtle Maid, can you see it?
Yep.
Anyways, that's her information. So Jen is like super fun. So she had these all wound up into like oval, like not oval, circles, and had them sitting up behind her. Like, you know how you see like the circle wheels of fiber, but they kept falling because it was windy in her live video. And so she was like fighting with this one. It kept like coming apart, and I was like, I need that. It's so pretty. So it's like an ombre from like a dark green to then is like a pink. So I got that. And then behind her, as she was talking, she had this bright green, and it's like a bright green, and then there's yellow, and then there was this pretty like ombre gray. So it goes from like a dark gray to a light gray. Oops, sorry. So I told her I need to see it.
Those are very fun.
So I figured I would spin them together. But then I spent the day yesterday, and I have a couple of other skeins of Rambouillet. One is like a brown and pink, brown to pink ombre, also from Turtle Bay, and then another one's from somewhere else, but it's like all green. So I think I might do um, a spin, a mashup spin.
Surprise, surprise.
I know, but they're all like green. So I wonder if I could get. So there's like a little pink in this one. I wonder if I could get. I think I might need to get one more just to be safe of Rambouillet in browns. Actually, I think I have one somewhere. Anyways, I just need to look through my stuff and like spin up some Rambouillet because it springs when you spin it. It's like gets fine, but then when you wash it, it like springs up. It's super puffy and springy. At least in my experience with Rambouillet.
That's what the mashup I'm doing is Rambouillet right now.
So I'm thinking I might do that. Um, maybe because I have all those works in progress that I need to work on. But spinning is not knitting, so it's
So you're
knitting.
about to start something new.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So, anyways, that's all the spinning related things I have right now.
That is fun.
Yeah.
Um,
So
still working on a mashup, but I it took a back seat when I started my newt, I suppose. Which
Yeah.
I guess I can talk about my newt. So it's the capsule cardigan, um, the boneyard shawl, and then I'm gonna weave two scarves,
Oh,
which
cool.
I need to start. Just simple plain weave. Um, I figured I get a head start on like teacher gifts or gifts of whatever. So I just pulled out some random sock yarn and that's what I'm going to do. Um, and then, and then I have three fleece that I need to clean and spin one of or a third of. Um,
Okay.
so I need to get going on that. Like I haven't even done anything with that.
Well, it's I don't know. Near us, it's been like rainy and humid, so it probably wouldn't have been the best time to wash a fleece anyways because it wouldn't have dried.
I know, but I haven't even, I don't know. I've like looked at them
Well,
in the So
I,
one's a Shetland, one's Finn, and one is CVM. All of which I have not done yet on my own. I haven't processed any of those fleece, so I'm excited to work with them and see how they go.
I have a couple of fleeces that I should probably clean too. It's just I feel like I haven't had time, if that makes sense.
Well, and that's why I put it into my newt because if I don't, then I'm not going to do it because if I'm not
Right?
going to get points for washing a fleece, I don't do it. Like I've had these fleece since last year, like a whole year plus, when we went to the Wisconsin Sheep and Wool Festival.
Which
That's where they're,
coming up, like I think in September sometime.
yeah.
Like they're gonna make it virtual this year.
Like, so I was like, I need to do this. But they changed for the newts, they changed the requirement on spinning, and you have to spin a third of the processed fleece. So I had to up my spinning game. So I'm gonna have to spin a third of it, which is basically a whole fleece.
That kind of sucks.
Well, I mean, I could have said, "Oh, I'll only clean one fleece and spin a third of it," but I was like, I want to
Yeah.
clean
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like,
it.
uh,
I get it, but
I
yeah.
understand it to a point, but at the same time, if I'm cleaning a fleece, which personally I think that takes a lot of work when you clean and process a fleece, that takes way ton of work, and I think it's equal like washing a fleece. I think equals dyeing yarn or fiber.
Well, they said the Rav Craft is the spinning portion of it, which is why they upped it. So I was like, okay,
I
whatever. I'm not
understand.
happy about it, but I get
Yeah.
it. So I'm like, but spinning doesn't take me super, super long, which I hope I'm not like,
Yeah, but then I mean, I liked the way it was before where it was just 4 ounces because you could actually sample and see
yeah.
how you wanted to spin that fiber, especially if it's a new fiber for you. That's the only thing that I don't like about the spinning a third. That's just me. Um, but I also don't really do newts anymore because they just created more and more projects for me, and I never finished them. So because I feel like the requirements were like way above 4 months for me, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. And like I tried them a couple of times, and I finished maybe one or two, but then I was just like, this is just too much for me, and I couldn't like work it to where it would be meet the standards and still be okay for me, if that makes sense.
They change yardage requirements. Like I think they took yardage requirements out. So maybe they'd be more able to be fit for you. Maybe not. I don't know. They switched things up. The only thing, but they upped that spinning. So I was like, whatever. It's my own fault for wanting to do
Yeah,
it.
but I mean, I wonder if I don't know. I That's just one of the things that, and we've said it before. Like, I wish that they would accept um, cleaning and carding
I know,
fleece for homework because that is basically a wrap craft because it's on there and you can add it to your stash.
but it's not like a project like cleaning a fleece. Like like you can't make a project out of it. Which like on your Ravelry page, which is what I
Well,
think.
you can make now. You don't make the project. You make it a spinning stash project.
Yeah. I don't know. It's whatever. I'm
That's
just
just
like,
one of those things. Anyways, um, I haven't actually been on Ravelry much anymore, um, just because of all the craziness that was going on with it and the changes that they made on Ravelry itself, not in the Health Cup. So, um, like I mainly just go on now, check my um, thread for my uh, nest, or what are we calling them now?
like their
Blue,
nests.
yeah. Um, and then I like update my projects, and then I'll check the classes and turn in classes. But I don't like hang out as much as I used to anymore. I just don't have time. And like that's the one
That's
nice thing
why.
about the House Cup. It's like you do it to what you can do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we totally got off on a tangent there. So anyway,
Sorry.
so you have your fleeces and your sweater and two. What yarns are you using for your shawl scarves?
Mm, like dig. Put them
Sorry,
like
sorry to
I'm
put you
looking.
on the spot.
Um, they're actually this one is Allena Creations. I'm pulling out some deep stash because I was in her club for a long time.
Yeah,
Um, this is called Salt Lamp, and it is superwash merino, uh, superwash merino slash merino mix. This is Winding River Fiber Arts, um, The Hobbit number 3. Um, called Little Owl Organics. Oh no, the colorway is the Gathering of the Clouds. Sorry. So these two I'm gonna go together.
very cool.
And here's that. I don't know where this one came from.
That's bad when you don't remember.
I don't at all. I have no clue. And I don't know if you saw that. There we go. Oops. Anyway, oops, that way. I cannot.
All
Anyway,
right, but
that's gonna be one scarf, and I figure I'll just like try and use up as much as I can and go to town. Or I might have to do some math for warping and see how long I can make them. I don't know.
you're like 100 ends makes it pretty like a scarf about this wide.
Okay.
Um, and then if you do 6 feet long, so you
Yeah.
figure it'll be long enough to wrap around twice, and then you just use up everything for the left of the other spoon. And you mean you'll have some left, but yeah, at least
So
that's
this
for mine.
Hermione Jean Creations, which is now what Supernatural Yarns, right?
Yeah,
But this was also Club Yarn. This one's Lucius, and this one's Dobby.
I have
Um,
both of those, or I think I used Dobby in a scarf.
so I'll do those together too. But fun. Yeah. I just went stash diving and
Yeah,
like I have so much stock yarn, I might as well start to use it.
I
Um,
of weaving. I am in a Facebook group, a couple of them. One is for rug weaving, and someone just wove a rug cutting up old jeans
yeah.
as the weft warp, no weft, and then just carpet warp for the warp for like rag rugs, and it turned out really fantastic, and it has me like wanting to actually weave rugs for real. Um, but it just takes a while.
I would love to have like a floor loom, but I don't have I mean, I haven't woven in a while and I don't have the space for it. And I mean, I could put it somewhere, I'm sure, but for right now, I will be okay with just using my rigid heddle. But I am jealous. Was at your house, whatever that was, and I saw your little sampling of them. I'm like, I wish I had pretty
So
design
I think you can do that with a rigid heddle if you have two. Um,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, that also requires thought, and
Okay. Well then, yeah, forget I said any.
I'm all about the simple crafting right now, so that's another reason I wouldn't be getting one. Someday though, maybe. Maybe. But yeah, so I'm excited about my stuff. I need to get the loom out and actually warp it up so I can work on that because otherwise I'm gonna finish this and then I'm not gonna have carry around project. Well, I guess I could just use classes like have a class that I carry around.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah. So what's next on our agenda? Binging.
Yeah.
Um, I I don't know. Oh, I don't think I updated my thing. So we're watching Heartland again. The girls had started that for some reason, so that's what we're watching. Like family, not family wise, but with the girls. Though that slowed down a lot since school started this week. Um, we also what else did we start watching? Oh, Gilmore Girls. So we're watching that once in a while too. Um, I am watching Alias. I'm like, I think there's 5 seasons. I think I'm on 4. Um, but I stalled out on that because I started listening to the Mercy Thompson series again.
Oh,
I don't even know what prompted that. I think because I was starting to cart up some fiber for the shop, and I was like, I need to just listen to something and go to town. And it's harder to watch things, I think, when I'm carting than to listen. So I just started, and now I'm on Bone Cross, which is book 4. Um, and yeah, that's where I'm at.
that's
It's been
fun.
fun.
So we are we finished Gilmore Girls and Gilmore Girls A Year in the Life. Um, we finished the Umbrella Academy last night. Matt, Bella, and I. Currently we're watching Buffy,
Ooh.
and because we were talking, I was talking about it. Oh, I was playing Animal Crossing, and if you don't play Animal Crossing, you have residents that live on your island, and then you give them things and they talk to you, and then sometimes they come up to you and they want you to get a catchphrase for them. So I like change them. Sometimes they say different stuff. Like one time I told them to say "bam what" because Bella was watching Liz and Maddie, and um, they kept saying that, so I have them say that. I have someone now says Jinkies like Scooby Doo, and then um, someone came up and asked me, and so I had him say 5 by 5, and I was like, yeah, like from Buffy, because she talked about it in Gilmore Girls, A Year in the Life, or something, and so I was like, oh, I need to start watching that. So Bella was like, what's Buffy? I'm like, oh, let me show you. So we pulled out the actual movie that started it all and watched it, and then we started. I resubscribed to Hulu because for a while we didn't have it. But we just resubscribed to Hulu and started watching Buffy the series. And we've decided we like the series better than the movie because the vampires dust in the series, um, and it's just funnier. Also, total 90s. But anyways,
Yeah, how is she liking that? I feel like my girls would be like, "This is stupid."
I don't know if
Yeah.
he liked it, but like she was like, they're going to a bar. I'm like, it's an underage thing club. It's not, like I'm like, this was when TV shows were cool and they had um live bands on, like they premiered bands on shows.
Hmm.
'Cause they have all the bands. Anyway, so she's liking it. We watch it sometimes. Sometimes though we watch Married at First Sight because we're kind of addicted to the reality Married at First Sight drama. And then also I've been watching Alone. I started watching it because we have the History Channel, but they had the one season on Netflix or something, and we watched it. And then I went back to the History Channel was watching it, and then Hulu has the seasons I was on it, so I just switched to the Hulu because it's a little bit easier than going to the History Channel app and watching it um, on a Roku. So we watch Alone and Married at First Sight, and then Buffy. You know, now that we finished Umbrella Academy and Gilmore Girls. But personally, I've been watching like whatever I feel like. I've kind of like trying new things out. Like Andy and I finished Community, which that last season sucked. Um,
Watched it.
big time. And then I'm like rewatching Magicians, and I am watching just like random stuff. Like so now that we have Hulu again, I've been looking through that. Andy's been watching a lot of Pickers,
Oh, okay, yeah.
History Channel show, which I don't mind watching. It's kind of fun. Um,
Hmm.
but a lot of times I like just go to like I don't watch a lot, if that makes sense. So I've been reading like also audio. We'll say audiobooking. Um, I was reading the Riley Jensen series, and I got to see the book 6, and stuff happened that I'm annoyed with, so I stopped and I started Dead Witch Walking, which is the Hollows by Kim Harrison, I think is her name. But they have like 20 books in that series,
Oh,
and
wow.
it's popping up when I like when I put reviews in on Goodreads or on
Hmm.
Audible, it'll pop these books up and say you might be interested in this, and it keeps popping it up. So I finally got it on Audible because my library doesn't carry the audiobook until like later on in the series they have the audiobook. So I got it through Audible because I keep trying to go from one book a month to every other month. But to do that, you have to cancel. But to cancel, you have to have all of your credits used. But I have like 3 of them, and they keep piling up because I'm not sure if I want to like commit and get the books from all the books from a series if I don't like it. So I got a couple of first books in series to see if I like them, and I'm actually really liking this Dead Witch Walking by Kim Harrison. So it's like a urban fantasy. Um, Obviously, she's a witch, and but it's like a different um, world than like Mercy Thompson, if that makes sense. Like the vampires are different, um, the wares are different.
Hmm.
So she's a witch, and she can do like magic. She uses earth magic, and then her friend is a living vampire. That means she was born to someone who had like the vampire gene in her system, and she doesn't drink blood, but um, she still is a vampire. And when she dies, she'll become a dead vampire. It's kind of crazy. Um, it's just a totally different world that I'm like learning about still. And there's like pixies and fairies, but not like fairy like the fae. At least they're. I mean, it's like a totally new world. So I'm actually enjoying it because I wasn't sure if I would or not. So I only got the first book. So I think I can go and use my credits on the rest of the book. If that makes sense.
That's cool. Yeah.
I still have to listen to the last Mercy Thompson. I don't know why I haven't. I just haven't. Like I should. I maybe I'll go through and read them again. Maybe I'll go through and read the last couple of books, maybe from Burn Bright on, like 7, 8, 9, 10. Burn Bright was the other Alpha and Omega. Whatever the fire touched one on. I think I
Yeah.
might read from there on because I've read the first ones a couple of times. So I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm trying to like read new things, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Um, so yeah, because I'm over the Riley Jensen ones right now. But I am liking this. I think it's the Hollows series by Kim Harrison. But I also have a Jane Yellow Rock one. in my queue to listen to, which is she's a shapeshifter as well. And I had read a book by that same author um, called Junkyard Cats that I really liked. I don't know if you remember we talked about it. It was like cowboys, alien technology, and they like rode like it was like cowboys. It was like a cool bounty hunter type thing. It was cool, but it was just like a one off book. So I
Okay.
liked that book by the same author who writes this Jane Yellow Rock one. So I thought I would check out that series and see if I liked it. We'll see. Because I've been in like a book hole. Does that make sense? Not
Yeah.
reading books, which is why I've been watching more TV shows. So, you know.
I hear ya.
But I've been sewing more, so I've been listening to books more. So, anyways, that is our big thing. We can go on to random randomness now. I have been sewing a ton, and I already talked about Animal Crossing because I've been playing that a lot too. So it's a cult.
Um, School started for us this Monday. So today is Friday and it's the first full week. We switched the kids to a private school, which has a lot smaller classes. Like the whole eighth grade has 11 kids,
Okay.
which is the smallest class there is. So, like, Gabe and Leah's classes have like 20 ish, well, Trubin's too. Um, so it's a lot smaller and safer, and they're doing the whole mask thing and all that jazz. So it's been a little stressful, but also good to get back into just a routine. I feel like summer was like a whole 5 months long and it's been crazy, but it's still hot and muggy here. Like yesterday was like, or maybe it was 2 days ago, it was like 93 and muggy and disgusting. Um, so like part of me's like, it's school, it should be cool out now. So it's messing with my head. But and I think it's also good for them just to like have some social uh interactions. Even though it's all with new people, so we're dealing with that too. But yeah, we'll see. It's been crazy, and having to buy all the things and all that jazz. Um, Craziness.
Yeah, Bella starts next week, but her school is doing a hybrid soft start, if that's what they're calling it. So like the first 2 weeks, the letters A through whatever go Monday, and the next the next day, I think it starts on a Tuesday. So the first day is Tuesday and Thursday, and then Wednesday and Friday for the other letters, and then um, the other way. So we had like they had town hall meetings like on Google Hangouts or whatever it's called now, Google Chat, because the school does Google Classroom, so whatever. So they're planning on videoing all of the classes so that people can watch them when they're not there, like if they're sick. Um, they have like a whole new like pledge of what the students like. They won't come to school if they're sick and all this stuff. Because I mean, it was just for the high school because we're just high school. They have a thing where at the end of the period, the the kids will um, the teacher will spray all the desks down, and then all the kids will leave. And then when you get back, you are responsible for wiping off your desk. They're doing it that way because then they're like, you for sure know that your desk is
Yeah.
sanitized. They have to wear masks, and they're staggering the classes going out. Does that make sense? Um, we got a video from the band
Yep.
guy because Bella's in band. Well, she does percussion, so this doesn't pertain to her, but they're like making masks for the instruments to like go on the horn of the instrument, if that makes sense, like the opening part. And then they have their special masks that they're going to get that they're going to provide for the students that you wear, and it has this thing that goes onto the actual instrument so that you can play it. So there's going to be a mask that like goes around it, and then there's a mask that goes around the other part. Um, so there's that. It's like so much craziness like that they have to think through, and like that's why they're doing the soft start so they can practice with like half of the kids instead of all of the kids. But like he was saying, her band and teacher was saying, the band room is too small, so we'll have to meet in the auditorium, and it'll be seats. You'll sit there, and there'll be two empty seats, and then someone will sit, two empty seats, and then there's a whole row in front of you and behind you that is empty for class because that's all they can do because there's just so many people in band.
Yeah.
And then they were talking like they're not sure if they'll be able to play at anything because all the sports are one player gets one parent gets tickets first. Like I don't even know if any kids can come to the games. Um, it's just crazy. Like because you figure band when they do pep band, they sit in the stands and they're like right on top of each other playing for um, peppiness or whatever it is. But they're like, we're not sure if we can do that because you're right on top of each other, and band there's anyway. So craziness, crazy. But like they're like figuring it all out and working with the Racine County Health Department because that's what county we're in, and like anyways. So like they're doing that, and it starts next week. Bella's kind of nervous, so
Yeah. It's crazy.
yeah, and I'm sure it's crazy everywhere. So it's just one of those things.
I know. I do
Oh,
not envy the teachers and administration and all that, like to figure out all this new stuff. But
yeah,
oh, yeah. Um, our school is like utilizing outside right now as much as
right.
they can so that the kids can take their masks off. And they'll be socially distant outside. Like we drove by the other morning, and I saw Chloe, her class was outside, and they're all like around the yard and like under trees, like sitting and doing their reading, which was kind of cool.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, like they've what else did they do? They're like staggering their like so for the middle school, they're having only their class, like the eighth grade or the sixth grade, stay together, and then even in that they're having like even and odd kids like to go out to their lockers at the same time, and they're like switching that off and like bathroom breaks and all that. It's crazy. Um, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do.
right. So
I'm not looking forward to cold and flu season. Like
yeah,
we're just gonna be home all the time because someone always gets sick. So I've been like upping their like vitamin C and all that jazz and like their immune booster stuff. And,
yeah, I need
get,
to work on that and be better at that.
um, we went camping at the beginning of August. We used our new camper. It was wonderful. It was fun. We went to West Bend. There's a private campground. It had a cool diving board and a raft out in the middle of the lake, and it was fun stuff. It was good. But that seems like forever ago now, even though it was just a few weeks ago.
I know.
And then everyone came up for our dad's 70th birthday. So we got to see family, and that was fun. Oh, but yeah, I'm just tired.
I'm also tired. Um, Same thing that I already talked about. Michigan Fiber Festival happened, and that was fun. I finally got my. This is from earlier. I got sorry, crinkle, crinkle. I ordered from the Zombie Knit Apocalypse um, retreat. It was all virtual. Um, I ordered from Mitchell's Creations. That'll focus on
Okay.
there. I don't know if it did. But it's mitchellscreations.com. Mitchells creation. Um, so I ordered some sport weight yarn because I have some sport weight from like different people, like Fairy Tale Mist, um, other people. I just can't. Oink Pigment. I have some from, and I sometimes I'll instead of buying stock yarn, I've been buying sport weight yarn, and usually I just buy like the colors that I like because I know that they'll match with whatever else I buy. So I bought this one, and it's called
Ooh,
Who Said Unicorns Aren't Real? So you can see
that's pretty.
that. So it is a her parish lines is what the name of the yarn is. It's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And I figured with the sport weight, I could like make like a sport weight sweater or something. I don't know. I haven't decided.
Ooh,
And then I thought too, like, cause sometimes my spinning is sport weight. So if I spin like a hand spun sport weight, I could use it as like a color in it. Does that make sense?
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I had reasons for buying it, and that's why I bought it. I don't know. I don't remember. This is also the same thing. This one's called Blacked Out Catastrophe, and she has like a few different catastrophe ones, but this one has more black in it. The other ones are like white or gray, so it's like pink and there's like I don't know if you can see like there's blues in there, like speckles yarn. So I got that. I bought that at the Zombie Knit Apocalypse, which was in June. But I got this the other day. So it's pretty. Um,
Not
I,
bad.
I think I bought Sport Weight too from the Lolo Bean was the keynote speaker for the Zombie Net Apocalypse. But she that was also died to order, so she was doing like a special order dyeing. So I'm sure that'll be coming soon. Um, but it's exciting. Like I don't buy yarn much anymore,
Yeah.
but I was watching the videos and they were so pretty. So yeah, but I bought Sport Weight because when I was going through my yarn for Madison to make that Modulan show that she's knitting, I was like, oh, I have a bunch of this Sport Weight. Like I have like 3 skeins or 4 skeins of this Sport Weight yarn, but that's not enough for like a sweater. So I was like, I'll just beef up my Sport Weight stash because my stock yarn stash is like 100 or whatever.
Mm.
So yeah. Anyway, that's
Not bad.
all that I have in random randomness listed.
I think that's it then.
All right. So sorry we kept you for so long. Thanks for watching. We will let you go now, and we'll be back next month, with
Hopefully
a
next
new
week.
term. Hopefully, it'll be a planning podcast, unless we forget, and
That
then
always
it'll
helps.
be a regular one. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.